What Molly decided to do initially at the end of 2008 was to go to the UK to do one event.
I mean, for me, this is what I want to do, and I just sort of looked around at anyone that's progressed further into sport, and, you know, the World Rally Championship is based over in Europe.
You know, we were originally trying to find some assistance for her to continue on in the Australian Championship, but she was so hell-bent on going overseas that we couldn't hold her back.
Well, we did say, don't do it.
You know, I looked at it from my perspective, and, you know, it was on the other side of the world. It was in a left-hand drive car. It was, you know, a lot to learn, and I just thought that in one rally she would struggle.
You know, he said to her, he said, Molly, you're trying to go over there and prove yourself, but you are stacking the odds against you.
I look back at it now, and if you put it in that context, I myself think, why did I do that? Like, if you played out like that, and it seems like, you know, there's so many things that could go wrong, and you are putting yourself out on a limb, really.
But at the end of the day, we just thought, well, she's got to give it a go, and this will sort her out big time.
You know, she turned up with a team she didn't know. She leased a car. Oh, hello, you're my co-driver. Here's my car. You know, went and did this rally. Now, she got a puncture on the second stage and lost minutes changing it. So from an event result, it was nowhere. But on stage times, she was putting in second fastest stage times, and sometimes only a fraction of a second behind the guy who actually won the Swift Championship that year.
If you have a look at Wayne Gardner, if you have a look at Alan Jones, if you have a look at Mark Webber, Chris Atkinson, unless you move over there, you're not going to end up in the World Rally Championship or any other World Championship. So you have to be based in Europe, and, you know, Molly's had the focus to get off her backside and move over there and try and make it happen.
That first year with the Swift, part of her sponsorship was to be through Suzuki in the UK, who was supporting the championship. 2 days before she got on the plane, Suzuki pulled out of that championship.
My heart really went out to her because, you know, I knew that it was going to be extremely difficult, extremely painful. She had very little money. You know, she didn't have enough money to do the season. You know, the budget wasn't finalised by any stretch of the imagination, and just sort of moved over there with a bit of money sorted, and figured that we would sort it out as we went.
So that was a really big thing to have to just, you know, let her land there, let her ring up and complain how expensive it was to buy food to eat, and how the budget wasn't sorted, and, you know, yeah, all that sort of stuff, which you sometimes as a parent feel like you just want to take hold of it, sort it all out, and then say, here you go, Molly, it's all fixed. Spent a while living in a shed, which was actually, it wasn't too bad, but it got a little bit cold at times. The worst bit was in the harvesting, when the farmer was tipping all the grain into the back of the shed, but the bottom wasn't sealed properly, so you're getting all this dust coming up through into the bedroom, which made it a bit difficult to sleep. The Citroën that I drove in 2010 was a front-wheel drive, specially designed rally car kit that's put into a C2. As she said, Dad, this is a proper car. It's a sequential gearbox and big brakes, and absolute weapon of a car. One thing that Citroën did really, really well with that series was offer some really great prize money, and therefore the level of competition was very fierce, and these boys were very, very quick. 7 right, 9 left. Probably the toughest competition I've ever had. Slow 7 left in on tread. But the other part of it is her Citroën was lent to her by an Irish family. I mean, not many people go around and just lend a friend their road car, let alone a competition car. You know, these are really valuable, specifically built cars that you're then going to go and race through a forest. You know, there's every chance that you can destroy that vehicle in the sport that you're doing, and yet this family lent her a car for the year. You know, I was working full-time. I'd finish work on Friday and then drive 2 hours to the airport and catch a plane, or drive 3 hours to the ferry and catch a ferry across to Ireland, and
you know, work on the car and do whatever I could that weekend, and then Sunday night do the trip back and work on Monday and do it again. When everything was right, the times were achievable, but you know, these boys are just on the limit on every single corner of every stage, and you know, that's definitely where I knew that I had to work on during the year to be able to be at that pace.
Her co-driver Phil had a pre-booked holiday that ended up clashing with the date of the Isle of Man rally.
I sort of joked to Mum that, you know, would you want to come and do it?
How lovely that your daughter actually wants you. I mean, I think that's pretty special, and I'm really lucky that I have a daughter who was so keen for me to go and compete with her.
You know, it's always very hard, especially in a rally where, you know, you want to do well and you're pouring a lot of money and a lot of resources into. You don't want to turn up there and just grab the next person that's available. You want to make sure you go in there with someone that you know you can trust and know can do the job. So for those factors were given with Mum.
Over the years, whenever she's asked that, I've actually ducked out of it. I didn't want to do it. And I think that it comes from, you know, not wanting to spoil that mother-daughter relationship, but also I've sat beside Neil Bates for the last 18 years. So I've sat beside the best driver in the country, and I'm comfortable. You know, and Molly in some ways is still a new novice driver just learning this sport, and I thought, oh, she might scare me. I don't know if I want to sit beside her.
Well, we had a few good mother-daughter conversations during recce, I think, about pace notes and riding pace notes. Mine would be a fair bit different to Neil's notes as I've evolved with my pace note riding, so we definitely had a few lengthy discussions, I'll say, about them.
And Molly will laugh because she'll tell you I do this every time. It's always the first stage on the first rally. After the first ride, I'll start thinking about ways I would like to do it. And then we do the next run through, and it always works.
It was surreal for me because I'd grown up watching in-car of Mum and Neil, so it was like I was just watching a video. I heard this voice come through with the pace notes, and it was just, took me back a bit. I had to, all right, no, we're on the stage. I'm not watching the telly.
And I honestly thought that I would be uncomfortable, not enjoy it, and my mindset would purely be, I'm here to do her a favour, she needed a co-driver, but I hope this rally finishes soon. I really thought that's how it would feel to me. I'd just be wanting the stages to be over. But we started that first stage, and I just felt completely at home. I think I even felt like laughing at one point during the stage, but you don't have much time to do that when you're reading notes, but it was almost that. I just wanted to laugh with relief that I was enjoying it so much, and I was so stunned at how she drove.
For me, the British Ladies Championship, it's a nice title to have, but it wasn't what was very important to me. If that unique angle can help promote and get me more experience in rallies, and that's good, but I'm there to rally, and at the end of the day it's a stopwatch, and it doesn't know gender.
Hey baby, you're so powerful, with your sex appeal.
It's never been, you know, a female, you know, to show that we're as good as the guys, or, you know, we can beat the boys.
And I admire the way she's doing it. You know, she is my daughter, and sometimes I think it's like me come back to haunt me, but, you know, she is a role model in the best possible way for women. You know, she says, if you want to do something, you go and do it, and you can achieve whatever you want to achieve.